Hello, and welcome to the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Stout. When people think of Stout, they think of art programs, educational programs, and engineering programs. But what many people don't know is that Stout also offers many pre-professional programs. But what kind of pre-professional programs does Stout offer, you ask? Stout offers chiropractics, optometry, medical, pre-pharmacy, veterinarian, physical therapy, and physician assistants. As the programs begin to grow though at Stout, so does the campus itself, which why we are standing in front of the newly renovated Jarvis Science Hall. The Jarvis Science Hall has excellent laboratories, up-to-date classrooms, and great study areas. Now, as we just heard, the Jarvis Hall can facilitate all your needs for your pre-professional program. Now, just last month, Jarvis Hall had its grand opening just on this spot. Governor Doyle himself appeared to give his words of encouragement and praise to the Stout community.
But in Wisconsin, in this tough time, we've made it clear what is most important to us. And what is most important to us is making sure we are a state that is first and foremost committed to education. UW-Stout has kept that faith for generations. And with this building, for generations to come, students will get the best technical education anywhere in the world. Thank you all very much. Congratulations. Thank you.
Dr. Charles Bomar, Program Director of the Applied Science Program, also made an appearance at the grand opening. We were able to sit down with him recently to hear his perspective on the ever-growing pre-professional programs offered here at UW-Stout.
How rapidly has the applied science and pre-professional programs grown in the last few years?
The applied science programs and pre-professional programs have grown in conjunction together very rapidly in the past few years. Specifically, having a new building makes the program very attractive to many students.
Do you think in the future they're just going to grow continually, or I mean, where do you see all of these programs in the next maybe 5 or 10 years?
I think that there's going to be continued growth, and at some point in time, unfortunately, we will have to control it for the sustainability of the program and to manage and maintain the quality of the programs. It will be essential at some point in time that we start creating tighter boundaries. I get worried about that because I've seen students who said they were pre-med and had 32s on their ACT and dropped out their first semester because they couldn't do their homework. I've also seen students with a 16 on their ACT who came in and were excellent students and were the top of the class in the PA program. So I also get very worried about making too tight of constraints.
I guess, would you recommend pre-professional programs to the students? I mean, obviously anytime you go for a pre-professional program, there's typically a lot more schooling than just those 4 years involved. Would you recommend that most students try those out, or?
A couple things to consider is if you're going to do pre-professional, you need to realize that it's not a 4-year commitment to education. What you do here only provides you opportunity to go somewhere else. If you say that you're pre-med or pre-dent or pre-vet or whatever, you need to know as a freshman it's a minimum of an 8-year commitment to education. It's not a 4-year commitment. Once many students realize that, that's enough to show them that maybe they don't want to go to vet school or dental school or whatever. But I think that we do an excellent job of preparing students for those programs.
What would you say maybe about the significance of taking pre-professional programs at Stout versus other universities or colleges around here? Do we have anything extra to offer, or?
I think probably the biggest thing that we have to offer are all of those other things. Students can go to big places, they can do really well and have great grades, but the significance of our capacity to provide undergraduate research experiences to students are what's going to separate them out at a later date. So much so that not only will it separate them out for what professional school they actually apply to and get into, but as we're finding out from our alums who've done undergraduate research, it turns out that their after professional school work life was directly related to their ability to say that they did undergraduate research, which even I didn't know that until just recently.
Do you think that the pre-professional students here are maybe held to a bit of a higher standard, or there's a little bit more work and effort they're expected to put in?
Absolutely. One of the things that I point out, well, actually two things. One, it's not my career, it's yours. And if you want to make your career something, you have to invest in it. And two, I don't decide if you go to vet school or med school, somebody else does. So for those students who say, I want to be a doctor, but I don't want to take organic chemistry, they need to recognize right away that the other 6,000 people who applied to Madison did take organic chemistry, and most of them got an A in it.
All right. Is there a specific pre-professional program that has grown the most in the last few years?
It's the pre-physical therapy program.
Okay.
That's probably the significant growth. So out of our 175 pre-professionals, about 50 of them are physical therapy.
Do you think that pre-physical therapy is going to be most needed in years to come versus all of the other professional programs?
From everything that I've read and my colleagues have read over the past few years, there's two major areas of projected professional healthcare growth: PT and PA.
Okay.
With new demands and expectations for cheaper healthcare, those are the avenues which that'll probably be addressed.
Okay. Is there any other information regarding the applied science programs that you wanted to share with us?
Work hard and engage. Look for opportunities to do research. Look for networking experiences every day. And those are what will make the difference in your career.
Right.
Now that we know a little bit about the pre-professional programs, that might give you the incentive to choose Stout. But why not choose Stout? We have the programs and we have the facilities needed for you to succeed here. So when you decide to choose a campus next semester, choose Stout. You can't go wrong.